Guys, welcome back to the channel. Another movie review. I wanted to get this one out of the way because I'm actually just sitting here and I'm watching, I was watching Netflix a little bit ago, and I actually sat down and I watched Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution, which is the new, or the not really, it's a shot-by-shot remake of the Pokemon the first movie, about Mewtwo, how he goes to the island, invites all the trainers, Ash Ketchum, Misty, Brock, all these other trainers, tries to steal their Pokemon, yada yada yada, makes clones, wants to be the superior being kind of story. And I gotta tell you, if you're going into this expecting hopefully something new, don't expect nothing new, because this is a legitimately, besides a couple scenes, a shot-by-shot remake of Pokemon the first movie. Now, I love Pokemon the first movie. One of the most nostalgic movies from my childhood was Pokemon the first movie. I absolutely adore that film. Great stuff. I keep looking over here, right? But the camera is right there. But I will say this, though, about the movie. The animation's great, by the way. The animation, if it has any accomplishments to brag about, the animation is pretty damn good. The animation's great. And Mewtwo, I found to be a bit more interesting in this movie than the first Pokemon the first movie. He's pretty much the same Mewtwo, but there's something about this Mewtwo that, because Mewtwo in the Pokemon the first movie, now I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure he felt Pokemon should be ruling over the humans because of their powers. But in this particular film, this Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution, Mewtwo is actually against both Pokemon and humans, and that surprised me. He really shat talk a lot of these Pokemon, and not just that, but he was like, Pokemon should be ashamed of themselves because they're not responsible enough to take care of this planet because they let humans rise to power. And I was like, holy shit, Mewtwo is fucking, he's his own person in this movie, and like he did not want to side with anybody, and he felt he was the most powerful being, and I almost felt he felt a little bit more badass in this movie. Like, he was badass in that first movie, don't get me wrong, like there's no question about that, but Mewtwo in this movie was pretty damn cool. But one of the problems I had with this movie, and I'm going to tell you right now, I enjoyed the movie, I really did. I thought the animation was great to look at. I thought the landscape, the Pokemon, the hair on the Pokemon and the humans were absolutely so realistic, it was insane. But my gripe with the movie is the soundtrack, and because Pokemon the first movie, the soundtrack to that movie really added so much to the scenes, the emotional scenes, like this isn't really a spoiler, Pokemon the first movie's been out ever like since the beginning of 2000. 1999, around that time. Pokemon the first movie, that scene where Ash jumps in between Mew and Mewtwo's blast, and then the Tears of Life song starts playing, and that all the Pokemon start crying. That music really added so much to that scene that it made it emotional. And I gotta tell you, when that scene came up in this movie, the soundtrack was not there. And it was there, but it wasn't giving that boost of emotion, and it really took away from the scene, because that scene in the original gets me all the time, but for some reason, that's not for some reason, but just without the music there, and they did the opening song, right? They did the, I want to be the very best Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all song in the beginning when he battled that trainer, but that's pretty much it. That is pretty much the only bit of soundtrack that they actually took from the original movie and added into this one. And I think it actually hurt this movie a little bit, not having that kind of, and I'm not saying copy the soundtrack, but at least make it more up, like, just in your face, like, not in your face, but it needed to be more, I don't know what the right word for it is, but that original soundtrack, to at least certain scenes I'm thinking of, it would have helped a lot. Like, Brother, My Brother, that song that played when all the Pokemon are going up against each other in the original movie, that wasn't in this movie. And they just played a little bit like it wasn't even that memorable. The soundtrack in this movie is actually pretty bad because it's not memorable at all. But that first movie, that soundtrack was kick-ass, and it was so that it was there and it was noticeable. But guys, that is probably my biggest gripe of the movie, is the soundtrack. I think also if you're looking for something new, you're not going to get it. So that's another thing that hurts this movie, is that it is a shot-by-shot remake. And I can see where people didn't like The Lion King 2019. People might not like Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution because it's exactly the same movie. And that actually can hurt the movie because there's nothing new to add and nothing new to take away. And I felt that with this movie. I felt like, I really could just stick with Pokemon the first movie and be totally fine, because Pokemon the first movie is absolutely a better film than this one. But I still enjoyed this movie regardless, and the animation I thought was breathtakingly good, and I thought, Mewtwo was pretty damn awesome. So I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. I know it's pretty high, but yeah, I enjoyed it. Guys, comment down below, let me know your thoughts. Did you guys see this movie? Do you guys want to see it? And what should you prefer, Pokemon the first movie or Pokemon Mewtwo Strikes Back Evolution? Guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in my next video, and I hope you take care.